Good evening. This is Stan Matthews in the Matthews broadcast on this Monday, the 5th of June. I can't believe I'm saying that, man. The 5th of June, it's like the 5th of January, 2017, Election Day tomorrow, but the Matthews broadcast today. I am joined in studio with the island goddess herself, Miss Maxine Rodney, who is premiering today as my co-host on Magnificent Monday. We have a power-packed show planned for you. We're going to get into it in just a moment. Want to do some housekeeping before we get started and ask you to support those who support us. This broadcast is brought to you by our sponsors who ensure that we will be on the air and that we can engage with you in the empowerment broadcast. So please support the following sponsors. First and foremost, for mobile marketing and advertising guaranteed to take your sales higher, call Trey and Daniel at Billboards for Hire. They are the owners of a wonderful company. Those trucks with the 20-foot high-tech digital screens on each side of the truck and that powerful sound. You've seen them at Summer Jam before. You've seen them at Circle of Sisters at the Jacob Javits Center. You've seen them at the major sporting events. You've seen them certainly at the political rallies. They were just in Plainfield at the Phil Murphy rally this past Saturday. You can reach Daniel and Trey at Billboards for Hire at 917-756-0043. Mobile marketing guaranteed to take your sales higher. Call Trey and Daniel at Billboards for Hire. Divorce is nothing to play with. Divorce is nothing to play with, so you need divorce done right. Call our master counselor and friend, Cassandra Savoy of Cassandra Savoy and Associates. You can reach them online at cassandrasavoy.com, and you can call her at 973-748-0097, 973-748-0097. Nothing says flowers, nothing says I love you like flowers. You have tried the rest, now try the best. Call a Rose's Petals at 472 Broadway in Patterson. Nathaniel and Carolyn Joe have been there for more than 20 years, serving all of your needs with the most beautiful flowers you could imagine. Call her at 973-742-5333. 973-742-5333. Mr. G's Restaurant, where good friends meet, and eat at 455 East 18th Street in the Silk City of Patterson. Russell Grady, my good friend, has been there for more than 54 years. So give him a call at 973-782-4020. For advice and planning, that's always great, call Smith Gilmore Real Estate, the real estate brokerage for the successful investor, for the successful purchaser. You can call my great friend Violet Smith Gilmore at 201-723-4203. She's at 1258 Teaneck Road in Teaneck, looking forward to satisfying all of your real estate needs. If you want to raise working capital for your small business, I am sure that you probably would be interested in raising up to $25,000 in working capital without debt or without credit being a factor. So call Funding Magnet. Funding Magnet is a company that funds your plans so that you can live your dreams. Funding Magnet is owned by Anthony Hibbert, and Anthony Hibbert can be reached at 973-357-3698, or you can visit him online at fundingmagnet.org. Fundingmagnet.org. The mortgage you need for the home you want is at Citizens Mortgage. More than 30 years of excellence. Call Citizen Mortgage at 201-398-0800 or visit them in Fair Lawn at 18-20 Duet Avenue. That is Citizens Mortgage, and again, they could be reached at 201-398-0800. Dorson Home Care is a breath of fresh air for caregivers everywhere. Call them at 973-672-7691 for the best home care anywhere. They're conveniently located not far from here at 395 Pleasant Valley Way in West Orange, and also they have an office in Roselle. You want the max? Get Optimum Tax and Financial Services, 5-star rated online and Better Business Bureau certified. Call Tony Maxey and his brother Ivan Maxey at Optimum. They're at 908-352-1040 at 500 Rahway Avenue. The Greek Tavern, to experience fine Greek cuisine and the taste and service that's always good right here in our neighborhood. Superstar restaurateur Wei Chen and her team are at 292 Bloomfield Avenue in Montclair, about 5 minutes away from our studios, and we will be there for the reception, the post-broadcast reception, the Inner Circle reception in about an hour from now. You can call them at the Greek Tavern at 973-746-2280, 973-746-2280. So those are our sponsors. I thank them, continue to thank them, and look forward to working with them even more. Also want to say hi to our friends in state, out of state, those people online, those people on Facebook. Thank you for supporting the Matthews broadcast in all that we do. We're going to take a short break and we're going to be right back. Welcome back in the broadcast. We are going to have an awesome night. We're going to be talking branding yourself. As Michael Jordan said several years ago in his autobiography, brand you. Everyone is a brand. And so how you make people feel, what you make people think, can be controlled by clothing, can be controlled by color that you wear, can be controlled by voice inflection, voice tone, can be controlled by nonverbal behavior. So we've got a specialist in brand you with us, the one and only Crystal Crane of Crane Career Solutions, and she is chaperoned by King Arthur. You know, we got to make sure that you know, my man said, I'm going to make sure I'm here with my wife. Yeah, and she has a dad here just in case, so she got double backup. We're joined in studio by the Island Goddess herself, Maxine Rodney is with me. I just want to say thank you to friends of the broadcast. Thank you for continuing to send the emails, the texts, the well wishes, the prayers. I know that a lot of you have been asking about Lisa being over there in Greece. She will be back on the 12th of June. She has now seen Thessalonica, the church at Philippi, Mount Olympus. You know, I'm here. I'm working, and you know, that's what happens, brother. They do the globe trotting, you do the working. You know how it is. Yeah. But I thank everyone for thinking about her, and she and Anya are going to be coming back on the 12th, and I'm sure they're going to have a whole lot more than the pictures to tell. Out-of-state friends want to say hey this evening to my cousin Shaka Andrews in Miami. I want me to make sure I tell everyone he is watching. Charlene St. Clair in Richmond, Virginia. Pinky Andrews in Hampton, Virginia. Harry and Anna Staley in Charleston, South Carolina. Hope you guys are feeling well. Cool Otis Brown in Atlanta. Scotty Howard in Atlanta as well. Greg Riley in Falls Church, Virginia. Harvetta Fax in Baltimore, Maryland. and many, many, many more. But those are just a few of our friends out of state that are tuning in. It's interesting, Cornelius, they all send Facebook messages with their names. I can't go beyond 6 or 7, but everybody wants to get a shout out. And certainly right here in state, Vernon Bradbury, the captain of the mighty Newark Police Bike Squad. Vernon, everyone in the family, I hope, is blessed. Allison Skeet of the Caribbean American Business Association. Joe Peterson, the one and only Joe Pete of Patterson, New Jersey. Vinnie Jackson all the way down there in Willingboro. Greg Jones also in Willingboro. Herb Martin also in Willingboro. And Sarah Cepeda also down there. As we always do, our focus on this broadcast is empowerment, enrichment, and upliftment. Those are our 3 principles. The purpose of this broadcast is not to ignore all of the negative things that are happening in the world, but to shine a light on the positive things. As Cornelius knows, we have been criticized because people say that we're living in la la land. It's all happiness up here in the Matthews broadcast. And as we always do, when he and I are out, that's my image doctor, we remind people we live in the hood. We know. We know what's happening. We know that there's people being put under the ground pop. We know that there are negative things happen. We know that there's this thing called terrorism that's going on. But how can you ever know that there's something besides darkness if you don't focus on light?
Right.
I could tell you that if I focus on what the 6 and 7 o'clock news does and what the 11 p.m. news does, that it's going to create a spirit that will hover over you. And I absolutely do not do that. My position is this. Yes, I know there's something that happened in Manchester, but guess what? I have a 50-year-old soulmate that's in Greece right now that just got a master's degree. That's news. I just witnessed the mayor of Newark, a good friend of mine, give the commencement address at the Montclair State graduation. That's news. I just witnessed a group of Harvard graduates, the African-American, Maxine's nodding, the African-American students at Harvard set themselves aside and for the first time had a second commencement that was only attended by African-American students at Harvard, and they wore their kente.
Wow.
That's news. So guess what? I choose to focus on that news. I chose to focus on news that will uplift us, inspire us, and empower us, not disempower us, make us afraid, and make us suspicious of other people's intention and their persons, right? Because the word says, the scripture says, how shall they know lest they have a teacher, right? So if we're going to teach, we're going to teach on light. We're not going to be getting into other stuff, but we know it exists, right? We know it exists.
Right.
So I'm often accused, Chris, of not keeping it real.
Oh, no.
Oh, I keep it real. I keep it light. I can talk about that other stuff. I choose not to. It's not that I don't know that it exists. So remember, Matthew's broadcast audiences, we always remind you, you are a kingdom builder and a world changer, but nothing changes until you use the gifts that the Creator gave you to change it, right? Jeremiah 23 says, I knew you before you were in your mother's womb, and I have plans for you to prosper you and give you an end that is good. And so he knows who you are. He sent you here with an assignment, and you need to go ahead and be on purpose and do it. But nothing changes, Kingdom Builder, until you change it. We have to make sure that we invest in how we make other people feel.
Absolutely.
As our poet laureate Maya Angelou, in one of her greatest pieces, reminds us, people may forget what you said. They may even forget what you did, but they will not forget how you made them feel. So we need to invest in how we make people feel. Just the other day, I saw 45, also known as Donald Trump. I call him 45 because I just don't even like saying his name, Doc. Said that he is the most unfairly treated president in the history of the United States. So he's crying about how the press is coming at him about Russia and about all the things that's going on in his administration. And we came on this air and we said, you know what? We said we said during the primaries that the one thing no man or woman can get away from is karma.
That's right.
So now he's crying about he's hitting hard. He forgot he was calling people Lion Ted.
Mm-hmm.
He forgot he was calling people Little Marco. He forgot he said one of his opponent's father might have been with Lee Harvey Oswald at the assassination of King, right? He forgot that people in his rallies were fighting with people who just were attending, people that look like me and you. He forgot that he said to our community, what the do you have to lose by supporting me? Now he's catching it, and that's because, right, as Martin Luther King taught all of us, the arc of the moral universe is long, but it bends towards righteousness. It's going to come right back at you. So what he's crying about, he created. So, you know, karma is a serious thing. You just wait on it, right? So be careful about how you make people feel. We need to finally, third principle, enrichment. We need to organize our wealth. United States of America last year had a gross domestic product of $19.4 trillion. Of that $19.4 trillion, black and brown hands contributed $4.5 trillion with a T. In this very state of New Jersey, 30% of New Jersey's gross domestic product, almost $4.3 billion, are produced by brown and black hands. This is a very important point that we always emphasize as we talk about enrichment. You can't say to the world that we are poor when your community income on a national level and on a statewide level is 4.2 billion and 4.3 trillion. You can't get anyone to believe that story about we don't have anything. What you don't have is the right thinking.
Mindset.
As Stokely Carmichael said before he became Kwame Ture, the black and the brown are the richest people on the earth. They just haven't found out about it yet. So we've got to organize our wealth, not so that we can oppress or take advantage of anybody else, but so that we won't be treated as beggars to anyone else. We have everything we need. These minds behind these two ears and all of the resources that the Creator put under the ground on our earth and all of the gifts and talents He gave us, we have all that we need. So we have got to make sure that we go and get wealth, right? There's a proverb that says, God rejoices when His people prosper. Rejoices when His people prosper. So I want to remind you, though, money can't solve all of our problems, but money can solve our money problem. And our money problem is lack of organization and nothing else. It's not lack of wealth, it's just lack of organization. So the challenge of the 21st century and beyond is no longer physical freedom. That was handled right after Lincoln and Frederick Douglass sorted that out. It's not civil rights. It's not about sitting down and getting a cup of coffee or attending the college or university of your choice. The challenge of the 21st century is the imperative for black and brown wealth. Plain simple, and all we've got to do is organize it. We earn enough of it. Props to King James, LeBron James. You guys didn't win on the court last night, but you just agreed to put $50 million in a pot for young urban students coming out of Cleveland, that if they make it to college with a B average or higher, LeBron is going to give them $1 million. Thank you, King James. That's not sports, that's about leadership.
Yes, it is.
So with that said, I want to welcome Crystal Crane of Crane Solutions. I want to welcome her husband, and I certainly want to welcome to her inaugural co-hosting with me, the Island Goddess, the president of Montclair and the Montclair area, the one and only Maxine Rodney. I'll turn it over to you, Max, for any thoughts that you may have. I know there's some things in the news that are brewing in your mind that you want to share, and then you can go forward with the interview of Crystal.
Okay, well, first of all, on a low note, I want to say that my heart and my prayers goes out to the victims in Orlando who were killed by their former co-worker today. So it's a reminder that when you're working with people, when you interact with people, Stan just said it best, what the mind of Angelou said. It's not about what you say to people, it's how you make them feel.
That's right.
Always understand, you may not like, you may not agree, they may not be doing the task at hand, but there's a way in which you treat people and you bring light to people's lives.
Mm-hmm.
And let's also talk about mental health issues. America, we need to address this.
Yes.
A lot of imbalances come from different levels on a person's, you don't know what people are going through at home. So just keep in mind when you can't stand that coworker or that subordinate, learn how to talk to them, learn how to find a way to actually minister to them. Not talking about religion. I'm talking about your spiritual compass. Learn how to tap into something great about them and focus on that. And maybe then you can reach what is lacking and bring them up. They will appreciate you for it. And maybe we'll have less people returning to work after being let go, targeting people to harm them, or in this case, to kill them and himself. So my heart and prayers go out to all the families that are affected in Orlando, Florida. And speaking of 45, I hope you guys are paying attention. If you did not vote, if you were disgruntled, you're seeing the results of that right now. Understand that everything is on task if the votes are passed through to be privatized. I'm sure you guys understand that he unveiled a new plan to privatize air traffic control and systems. Really? How can you, That's why your vote matters. But guess what? If you're not savvy enough to know who you're voting for, the big elections, start with your local elections. As a matter of fact, tomorrow, June 6th, we have a primary for New Jersey governor. I know everyone needs to be running to the polls for that one. So with that being said, let's keep it positive, but let's keep our minds on straight and let's do the right thing.
Real straight.
Real straight.
Well, you heard it from the Island Goddess herself. So, on this point, I just want to say, as we bring Crystal in and you get ready to do the interview, a good friend of mine, John Harmon, is the chairman of the African American Chamber of Commerce here in New Jersey. And John was saying that he was in Washington talking to the new Treasury Secretary, Stephen Mnuchin. And Mnuchin was saying, what are you putting in the water for black women? Black women formed 1.6 million companies in the United States of America. A lot of them, a big number of them, major franchises. So black girls are doing some serious business. So Mnuchin wanted to know what is happening. And John Harmon just looked at him and said, have you ever sat down and had a conversation with a sister? He said, they don't want nobody to be their boss. You just need to ask any husband who the boss at the house. So John said, we're not surprised. Sisters are independent, creative, powerful people, and we just want you to keep on building the community. With that said, I also want to make sure that let everyone know that there's an organization other than the African American Chamber here in the state of New Jersey called the Urban Business Association that is also working really hard to make dollars circulate in local communities. My great friend Jerry Moultrie and Keith Broadway are the founders of Urban Business Association, and they're working just as hard to make sure that that 4.2 billion that we create in this state of New Jersey can circulate in our community more. So with that said, let us hear from our branding expert. There's many people out there that don't have the career they want, looking for a different path, and Crystal is here to help with that.
Hello.
Hi, Crystal. How are
Hi,
you?
I'm well. How are you?
Good. So, what is the name of your business?
The name of my business is Crane Career Solutions, and that actually is the makeup of both my husband and I, Dane Chisholm. So I'm Crystal, he's Dane. So we came together and made Crane. And also,
Nice.
there's a bird in Florida called Crane, and it flies and it takes off, and he loves aviation. So there's a whole workup behind our name.
And it happens to be the logo.
Yes, and it's the logo
Yes.
as well.
It's
So
a
we
hot
branded,
logo.
we branded together. Yes.
Nice. So, what can you tell me that is unique or about your business, and what value does it add to your community at large?
Okay, if I may go back a little bit, I am a recruiter by trade. I'm an HR professional, and I'm recruiting right now actually for a nonprofit organization. I never left that bug. For us, it's about passion. It's about helping our people. It's about helping people understand what's going on behind the scenes. A lot of people, they apply to jobs or they're trying to move around in the workforce and they don't know how to get around. They don't know what to do. They don't know what marketing materials they need to have in order to make sure that they are increasing their marketability. So that's where I come in and I assist with the marketability factor. I assist with making sure that individuals have an online presence that paints them in the best light. And we're just happy to help people exceed, excel, and move forward.
Very nice. So, Dane, would you like to say anything?
Sure. My background comes more from a combination of higher education. While I was in graduate school, I had a professor that was smart enough to share this one statistics with us that kind of opened my eye up to think about my career long term. And he said that the average person spend about 80% of their time with strangers. And I was thrown back by that stat. And he says, that's your work environment. You spend 80% of your time at work with strangers that you do not know. So the question is, how do you control that to a certain extent? And it was years later that I met my wife that I was able to find a way to make that into something that is realistic in the sense that she has a passion for helping others with their careers, and I have a passion for helping others as well. I tend to do more behind the scenes stuff, but we work off each other's strength. I'm more of a business discipline. I have my MBA, and I also have a bachelor's in aviation administration. So with that combination of her creativity, my business discipline, we came to create this company that I think will help for the vast majority of people that we try to help, to let them have something of skill sets and resources for their long-term career longevity, not just get a job and move on from job to job, but more so identify their skill sets, their hidden gems, as Crystal calls it, so that they know that they have something that goes beyond the job that they currently have, and they could also translate into other areas of their life.
I just want to ask a question
Sure.
before Maxine asks you the next one, Dane.
Sure.
In doing my research to have you guys come on, Challenger and Gray is one of the studies I look at. Challenger and Gray is saying in the 21st century, you typically will change careers. If you work for 40 years, you'll change careers about 10 times, 8 to 10 times, once every 5 years, because the pace of technology is moving so fast that your skill set is going to have to be transferable to other careers. In that environment, are you surprised that more and more people are turning to entrepreneurship because of the fact that the job market itself is going to be so unpredictable going forward?
The answer to that is multifaceted. One of the things you got to think about is that the U.S. economy transferred from a manufacturing base to a service sector. So now we are more so the ones that provide services to other developing nations. So, for example, you see China, India, they're more in the process of building their economy. We're in the process of servicing those economies with our goods and resources. With that being the case, you also have a generational shift. You have millennials and Generation Y who are now accustomed to instant gratification. So with that being said, they're looking for resources. They're looking for jobs that give an opportunity to be very creative in a rapid environment. One of the good examples of that in displaying that is Google. They created a campus, literally a campus, as well as Facebook recently, to give people the opportunity to like develop their craft, where they provide housing on the campus, they provide meals, they provide childcare. So when you have all that dynamics going on, you're going to have people who are accustomed to now where they have the ability to work when they want to work. They have the ability to work on projects that entice them. So you're going to have that change in you have that change in the economy, you have that change in the skill sets that people are accustomed to now. If that makes sense in a nutshell.
That makes a lot of sense. It just means that you have to be willing in your career now to embrace change.
Yes,
Yes.
absolutely.
It's not going to be one thing for all time. Next.
So, expounding upon the unique value your business and organization has, when you pull out those gems out of people, what would be one thing you would say you would like to share with us? Like a strategy you'd use to pull a gem out of somebody.
Storytelling. Storytelling is number one. Tell me your story, and I'll figure it out. I'll brand you just based off of your story. A lot of people that I come in contact with feel like they have nothing to offer an employer, and when I'm done with them, they're like, "Woo!" I do free resume reviews over the phone, but the resume reviews turns into like a coaching session. And I'm there trying to figure them out and trying to see, where can we put you? You don't belong here. You don't belong at ShopRite just ringing up, a merchandise. You belong in someone's office, changing a system, doing business development. And people don't realize how much they have to offer. It's their unique proposition value. They have something to give these employers. It's just that it takes someone like me, to pull it out of them, and only me, yes, to pull it out of them and make them realize what they can offer people.
Awesome. Who's a great referral that will help your business or organization grow?
Great referral. Colleges, nonprofit organizations, because what I do, I work with individuals, but I also work with colleges and nonprofits. And by that, I work with Rutgers University, their New Start Career Network program, which is a sector of the nonprofit organization that helps New Jersey residents who are long-term unemployed. 45 years of age and older, they have a very difficult time with their marketability. They don't know how to create documents to get them the jobs that they need. So that type of market, schools, I just mentioned Rutgers. I'm also a VP of social media and branding for the National Association of African Americans in Human Resources. And with that organization, we are collaborating with other African American and Black-owned businesses and other nonprofit organizations, and we're working together to see how we can help the youth, and not just African Americans, but anyone who needs assistance in their job search, who needs assistance in interviewing skills. So I would say like nonprofits and individuals who just want to grow. Anyone who wants to grow, increase their marketability, get out there, get known, get seen, that's what I like. That's what I'm looking for.
I the other day I was sitting at Mr. G's having an omelet, and a guy was telling another guy, interestingly enough, Dane, about how poor he was. I don't know why that's a conversation you have to have. So the one says, well, how poor were you? He said, one day I was sleeping late at night, about 2 o'clock in the morning, and a robber broke in. And I turned on the light, and I asked the robber, what are you looking for? And the robber said, money. So the guy said, well, let me get my flashlight. I'll help you look. So that's how poor he was. He told the robber, I'll help you look. So with you, there's a real opportunity for people to uncover those gems.
Yes.
Which interestingly enough is the name of this network. So that's a good place to be. All right, Max?
So what would you like to offer in return to our audience for their support?
I do offer discounts for my loyal people. And so I would offer discounts. Of course, my resume review is free, so that's something they wouldn't have to pay for. I'm willing to extend it from 30 minutes to an hour
All
for
right.
those who are
Thank you.
listening,
All right.
and for all of your listeners who
All
are
right.
a part of this broadcast or who listens to it at a later time.
Well, we're going to hear from them as we get this segment out, specifically to those who are seeking new careers or wanting to change. My own cousin just got a opportunity in Pennsylvania at a major pharmaceutical company. He was with a very large pharmaceutical company that I will not mention the name of for 39 years. And the year before, he was to get the gold watch just so that his pension wouldn't vest. Terminated him. So
That's
these
happening a lot,
things,
yeah,
these things
unfortunately.
happen. Could you imagine
Yeah.
that? 39 years.
Wow.
So the reality is that we have to continue to always keep our sword sharp enough, so that we can get that other opportunity. So,
Absolutely.
Max, the most important question comes next.
Of course. What is your contact and your social media handles?
Okay, my contact, I'm on, let's start off with Facebook. I'm on Facebook, Crystal Chisholm, and I'm sitting in a chair. So there's a lot of Crystal Chisholms, but I think I'm the only one sitting in a chair in my profile picture. I'm also on Instagram, and that's one of my favorite platforms, Crystal_Crane Career. It's all one word. I'm also on Twitter, Crystal Chisholm, and LinkedIn, Crystal Chisholm. So I branded myself that way. See, that's how branding works.
That's right.
And our website is www.cranecareer.com.
Phone number?
Oh yeah, my phone number. That would
Yes.
help. My phone number is
You better turn that over.
748-5555. And I can be reached between hours of 10 and 6 p.m. 10 a.m. to 6 p.m.
And if you don't mind, just give us that number one more time, please.
Sure, 973-748-5555.
Great. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Well, thank you, Dane, for coming. Thank you, Dad, for coming as well. As we close this segment of the Matthews broadcast, I would just say that we can see Dr. King's perfect community coming into view, Malcolm's Just Society coming into view. But the only way that's going to happen is if we make it happen. We have to usher in that which we desire. And so I would say to all of those who are watching this broadcast, listening to this broadcast, that there are two types of people in the world: dreamers like you and dream killers. Embrace the first and run like heck from the second. This is one of the keys to success. And finally, you cannot finish anything until you successfully start something. You cannot finish anything until you successfully start something. Far too many people in this world are like an athlete who gets to the starting line, and the man with the gun in his hand says, "Get ready, get set, and go." But they are always getting ready and getting set. People, you have to go. You cannot finish anything until you start something. Crystal and Dane have started something, and we don't even know how successful it will be, right? But we know that they have a vision, an aim, and a purpose, and we pray and wish them Godspeed, and we wish them nothing but overflow, success, and favor in all that they do. This is Stan Matthews.
And this is Maxine Rodney.
This is Maxine Island Goddess Rodney. I feel I got to hold on to my chair a little bit. She's going to take over, Cornelia.
IGE,
But-
Lifestyle with Flair.
But we will see you at the Greek Tavern at 292 Bloomfield Avenue, Montclair. We'll be down there in about 10 minutes. Good night, and
Good
God
night.
bless.
Good night. Thank you all.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, sir. Guys, come.